Cloudpunk is a narrative-focused game about your first night on the job working for a delivery service that isn't supposed to ask questions. It's intriguing to think you'll be flying around this neon-soaked and literally soaked city because it's always raining in a hovercar. It's straight out of the Fifth Element. But Cloudpunk isn't all about the driving, so let's get into exactly what's going on. You play as Rania, and it's your first night on the job for Cloudpunk. While the art in the logo looks like a taxi, at least to me, you were actually hired to deliver packages. Control, your dispatch from Cloudpunk, calls you on the phone to give you tasks. For example, a simple task like picking up a package from Cloudpunk HQ and delivering it. It's a bit of driving between 2 points, and the city is pretty big. Once you arrive, you'll need to find a parking spot and get out of your car to deliver or pick up the package. Much of the game is on foot, and by the end, depending on if you're collecting everything, it might even be more on foot than driving. But that's the game though, doing tasks for Cloudpunk as you try and make it through one crazy night. The driving took me a little bit to get used to. I expected something faster, really. Instead, the car is pretty slow, and the turning radius is wide if you don't slow down. You end up veering into oncoming traffic, which can be frustrating when you're trying to go fast and not crash. If you crash too much, you will need to repair the car. But I got used to it, and if you are going slower, your turn is so much tighter. I ended up enjoying the driving, and once you have a feeling for it, you can really get around the city quickly. Also, you do go faster on highways, so if you take those, you get to your location faster. Although there's nothing stopping you from cutting straight across the city to your destination. And while the rest of the traffic follows specific routes, there's no reason you have to. The only limit on your car is how high or low you can go. It feels like there's a ton of freedom to do what you want. Side note, there are a few upgrades for your car, some simple cosmetics, along with some speed and handling upgrades. It doesn't seem like you're forced to purchase anything, but it's something to spend your money on if you want. Now, you will be getting out of your car a lot. So much of your job is to chat with someone about their package. That means trying to find the closest parking spot, setting it down, then running to the spot where you have to pick up the package. Cloudpunk doesn't make it easy because most of the time, the meeting place is not close to the parking. The locked camera can get a little weird too because it moves a lot. When it moves in the opposite direction you're moving, it can get confusing. You're better off noticing when the camera is going to switch and then just to stop moving. Or else you can get into a weird situation where you're bouncing between the camera transitions, which it can be annoying. There's a lot more to do on the ground than while driving. You can grab side quests, chat with people, and pick up any collectibles. Chatting with people is how you learn about the city. The collectibles are everywhere and require you to run around the entire platform to get them all. The icon is the same for all of them, which looks like a bed if you ask me, so you never know what you're going to get until you pick it up. I don't understand why Rania is picking up all this garbage. Broken parts and electronics. I never figured out what to do with any of it. However, there is a quest, and if you want to finish it, you're going to be doing a lot of busy work collecting all this junk, which can be irritating. One bonus is that they're all already marked on the map, so it's only a matter of driving to the locations and parking at every single one, and I was not up to that task. Anyway, the city is the best part of Cloudpunk. It looks fantastic from all directions, and I can tell a ton of work went into laying everything out. There's always something interesting to see, especially when you're running around on the ground. It's probably why the developers chose to lock the camera. The angles they set provide some beautiful shots. The city feels alive with all the traffic and lots of random people walking around. Even all the random people you talk to drive a cohesive narrative about the city. The zero loading times between areas is also great. So what would I say if I went back in time and told myself about Cloudpunk and if I should play it? I would say, don't do it. You're going to think it's overwritten and that the voice acting is flat. This is a writing style that doesn't suit me at all. It feels like the characters repeat themselves constantly by only rephrasing their previous sentence. At the start of the game, the main character is reading the lines so flat, I wasn't sure I was going to make it through the game. There is some debate about it, and if you don't mind, that's great. I realize this is my preference. I really wanted to hang on the voice acting as the driving part of this game. I really wanted to be invested. And hopefully you'll understand after listening to this clip. Let me know in the comments what you think.
There's some homeless shelters for androids downtown.
I have a home.
What do you think I can do for you?
There is a card. It was posted into your mail. I think it is for me.
That's it? Just a card?
Yes,
Overall,
I need it.
Cloudpunk
It
is a
tells
well-made
Instructor to
game
come
with
back
a
to me.
beautiful city. If the idea of completing jobs for a delivery service sounds interesting, then you should strongly consider it. I wish the writing was more to my preference and that I could look past some of that voice acting. I'm sorry. Even though there is a considerable amount of voice work for an indie game, which is incredible. I don't know how they were able to pull this off. I'm thoroughly impressed with Cloudpunk. Thank you.
thanks.
Cloudpunk
Is this
was
real?
interesting, but what should I play next? Thank you very much for watching, and you will hit subscribe right now.
Come in, 14FC. How you